and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, especially NV Strong style. So, file Superman and Lois. Let's geek about for a scant few minutes because now we know what's in the minds, and it's not Doomsday, it's Bizarro. Yeah, so which I'm kind of wondering where they're gonna go with this because unless like the people connected to the show in the article, I can't remember who was speaking on it, who said, yeah, it's Doomsday, were just lying to us, which is not, out of the realm of possibility because, spoilers and leaks and et cetera, and just really these days you can't keep anything under wraps. Maybe they just tried to misdirect us thinking it was going to be Doomsday yet again, but now we're here and it's Bizarro. Bizarro's in the suit, Bizarro's in the mind, Bizarro kicked crap out of Clark because the two of them are connected mentally some kind of way for some kind of reason. I guess we'll find out eventually, but that's who's in there. Throughout the episode, we were getting these rage outs by Clark that caused him to yell at the kids and have to release his heat vision into his hands, which burned his hands, and we find out he's feeling kind of cornered and angry and attacked, but it's not him that's feeling it, it is somebody else, and that somebody else is Bizarro. So where he comes from remains to be seen. How he got there remains to be seen. It was interesting to see, I guess, having, just from a budgetary standpoint, if we're looking at strictly like from technical stuff, it's easier to do a whole Superman against Superman thing with stuntmen and that sort of thing, as opposed to a full-on CG monstrosity of Doomsday, unless something is going to happen to Bizarro at some point in time that's going to further mutate or do something to his physical form to make him kind of monstrous like Doomsday. Maybe he's going to get captured after Clark deals with him, he gets experimented on, and that's what's going to further the transformation into an actual Doomsday. Or we're not getting Doomsday at all. Remains to be seen how it goes, but the reveal was interesting to me. As for other parts of the episode, we see that Jonathan, as I said in the last episode, maybe he was going to go on this crusade, find out what his rival on the football team is doing. Turns out he's juicing with X-Kryptonite that his girlfriend is selling, and John says, hey, I'm not going to turn you in, I'm not going to dump you either. Sell me some. So again, as I said, I like this show giving Superman just real world problems and problems that he cannot solve just by punching them, because as Sam Lane says in the episode, he is the strongest being in the world, on Earth. And to give him problems that he has to find other ways to deal with, that he just cannot punch in the face, like the fact one of his sons is going to be a junkie apparently. So remains to be seen kind of the negative effects of X-Kryptonite, what it does to the individual, how John's going to take it. Maybe it does something that messes with his half Kryptonian DNA. Maybe that actually unlocks some latent powers, and that's where he's going to get his powers from, if he's going to have any. I actually like it if Jordan and Clark are the only ones with powers and Jonathan actually never gets them. If they go that route, I think that'll be way cooler, and it'll just make him a better person, a better character to have to, as Lois said in one episode of the first season, kind of deal with and live with people who are just more than human. So that was interesting. And another problem that, again, he can't punch his way out of is the fact that Jordan is in love with Sarah. They work things out in the episode. He's kind of wondering where to go after she kissed the chick at camp or whatever, but he feels that, and he gets kind of advice on from Nat on this about keeping the secrets and stuff. The fact that she sacked up and told him what happened, that should give her some credit, and the fact that he's got powers, his dad is Superman, he's keeping that a secret from her, but of course that's apples and oranges to me. But should the day come when he wants to fess up to her about everything about himself, Nat was like, do you want her to, I guess, don't you want her to kind of be accepting of what you kept from her and that sort of thing. So remains to be seen. Clark, even though he got kind of ragey, talking about it was kind of right, where it's like you just can't throw that out to like every chick that you happen to have a crush on and think you're in love with, because it's high school, it's hormones. It's like they'll be in love this week, he's giving her his grandmother's necklace and locket or whatever, and then 5 episodes from now, cataclysmic breakup, and she's going to tearfully give it back to him or leave it somewhere or something, and he'll be all sad because he's soft as warm butter at this point in his life. So that's gonna happen. So Clark is like, hey, I'm older than you. I know, because teenagers just don't listen. That's just what they do. It's just hardwired into who they are. Just you have all this experience and maturity and knowledge, and they don't, but they think they do. So whatever, it's gonna go the same thing, where he thinks he knows what he wants, and Clark makes a deal with him and says, in a year, if you still feel that way, we can have a different conversation. Where maybe you can let some things out. In a year, they're not gonna be together. It's just like, come on now, it's the CW. Like, we know kind of how this is gonna go, don't we? Outside of that, you have Lana, who's running for mayor and not doing a good job because she was riding shotgun with Morgan Edge when he was doing all the stuff to screw the town. So things aren't going well for her campaign, and the town is very distrustful of her. So she makes a move to kind of do this kind of grassroots campaign to really get people in her corner and show, get to know them get to know her, and really show that they can trust her with the town in terms of being the mayor. So it remains to be seen if she wins. I'm sure she does, and that'll create a host of problems as different special interest groups and stuff like that come at her, and she tries to retain that small town goodness in her heart that she's going to have to struggle. I imagine this is how it's going to go, where she's going to struggle with that versus the pull of politics and how it can change you and shape you into just different people by the time it's done with you, the political machine. I know that firsthand. I covered, when I worked for the Denton Record Chronicle newspaper in Denton, Texas, I covered county government. I covered politicians. I covered ones who had lofty goals, who were like new to being elected. And I asked them specifically, how do you keep yourself from becoming like that twisted individual that's been spit up and chewed up and twisted, transformed by the political machine? And they've given me their cookie cutter answers about what they can do, what they will do, yada, yada, yada. Years down the road, I check back in and they've become what they said they weren't going to become. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going to put Lana through that crucible and make her struggle and deal with trying to remain true to herself while being mayor. Should be interesting. Also interesting is John and Nat had kind of a spat when he goes out in the suit to help Lois and Clark to find out what's in the mines. He gets clocked in the back of the head, almost trapped down there. He goes against Bizarro, gets his butt kicked, and Nat doesn't want him to go out again in the suit. She wonders why he's going out there in the first place, because she thought they were trying to establish normalcy and just be regular people in this world. John has accepted the fact that it's probably not going to happen, and he's going to have to go out and help and get involved. So they're going to fix the suit together. And I'm hoping that this means it's going to be, it doesn't necessarily have to be an exact replica from the comics, because I don't think this John Henry and this Nat would make a suit that would have the Superman crest on it and kind of pay homage to the dude. Even though this Earth's Clark is good, it would still be kind of the mark of the dude that wrecked their lives, killed their, her mom, his wife, that sort of thing. So I don't think they'll do that version of the steel suit, but if they can make it less like Master Chief, like cosplay, like fan film cosplay, I think the show will be better for it. Maybe they can make something a little bit more practical and wearable. Remains to be seen, because we got the Atom suit and how much that costs, and which is why we never saw it all that much. So I don't want them to make something super expensive that then he cannot wear ever. So remains to be seen how that goes. And then you have, on the subject of Lois and this cult leader who is getting somebody to recant their story, which is putting Lois in the spotlight, putting a target on Lois. Lois wants to get up with Lucy, her sister. Father, Sam, doesn't want to get involved at first. He does, sets up a meeting. Sam is like, Lucy is not as strong as you. She requires more delicate touch, yada, yada, yada. Lois goes to the meet and finds out it's the cult leader chick that comes, because Lucy has gone, back under her influence. And as I thought going into it, it's probably Lucy that recanted the story. Turns out, yeah, it is. So she's back under the influence. So I guess this is going to set the stage for Lois's journey, or one of Lois's journeys for this season, as far as like her own specific individual story, where she's going to try to get Lucy back out before she dies this time around. Of course, Lucy's going to fight it, and that's going to create some drama and tension. Again, this season was reportedly kind of getting into the lanes and some of their history, what makes them tick, and we're going to get more of that with Lucy when Jenna Dewan shows up on the show. in the next, episode or two. So I'm here for that. Also, Sam wanted Clark to read in Anderson and the DoD about what's going on because Bizarro is affecting him. He's going to need help to fight it. Him and John Henry are like, hey, we got it, because we know that Anderson's going to send the kids after him. The kids are going to get wrecked. We know that. That's going to happen in the next episode, at least according to the promo. Remains to be seen, how much of that they do. But I'm expecting them to go in and just get wrecked. It's what's going to happen. It should happen. It'll probably happen. But all in all, it was a meaty episode, as I said before. The promo set it up to where there's going to be lots of conflict here and there was. But again, it just feels natural. It feels just a natural evolution of these characters and who they are and who they're becoming, how they're growing and changing and evolving. And it just feels, I know it's a comic book show, it's a comic book universe, and we have a dude flying around who's invulnerable to bullets and that sort of thing, but it still, at the end of the day, feels just like a really good family drama type of show mixed with some superheroes, and I'm here for it because they balance it so well on this show, and I like that, and I'm interested. And this is from a guy who's super sick of Superman stuff, but I'm here for the show. I love it. I think it's one of the best superhero shows to date. Stargirl for me is still at the top at this point, but it's easily top 5, easily. But those are some of my thoughts on it. Scattered and say often are. What do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Till next time, let us geek.